Have you ever watched a video that told you, if you were born on this date, you were a witch in your past life? Maybe you heard dates like the 2nd, 10th, 14th, 15th, 17th, 18th, 20th, or 28th, and your heart jumped for a second. What if it's true? What if there is something special about me, something ancient, something powerful? Before I say anything, I want to do something with you. A quick test. No forms, no apps, just your mind. Don't comment yet. Don't pause yet. Just listen. In the next 10 seconds, I'm going to describe you without knowing your name, without knowing your birth month, and without knowing your full birthday. Ready? Here it is. You've been through a situation where you had to be strong, even when you didn't feel strong. You don't trust easily, but when you care about someone, you care deeply. Sometimes, you can feel people's energy before they talk, especially when something is off. And there's a part of you that believes you're meant for more, but you don't always say it out loud. Now pause for 1 second and be honest. Did that feel like you? If it did, listen carefully, because I just did the same thing those "if you were born on these dates" videos do. And here's the scary part. I could now tell you, if you were born on the 2nd, 10th, 14th, 15th, 17th, 18th, 20th, or 28th, that's why you're like this. And a lot of people would believe it because they already felt seen. But today, we're going to expose the exact mechanism behind it. Not to embarrass anyone, not to insult spirituality, but to protect you from being emotionally controlled by flattering words. Because once you know the trick, nobody can use it on you again. So here's what I want you to do right now. If you felt that description matched you, type "I felt it" in the comments. Tonight, I want to tell you a different kind of story. A story about a young woman who chased this exact question across mountains and oceans until she met a teacher who showed her the strange truth behind these birth dates. By the end of this video, you will see the past life witch claim in a completely new way. So if your birthday is on any of those dates, or you know someone who was born then, I want you to stay with me till the end, because there is a twist waiting for you. And it is not what you think. Before we dive in, hit subscribe if you love stories that feel spiritual, but also make you think. Like this video so more people can see it. And in the comments, just write the day of your birth, not the full date. Something like 2, 10, 20, or 28. I'm going to use those comments in a powerful way. All right, let's begin. Her name was Mara. Mara was the kind of person who felt everything deeply. When someone walked into a room angry, she could feel it in her chest before they even spoke. When something bad was about to happen, she would say, "I don't know why, but I feel it." You know that kind of person. One night, after a long, lonely day, she lay in bed with her phone glowing in the dark. She scrolled and scrolled until one title stopped her thumb. You were a witch in your past life. If your birth date matches any of these. They've 1st 4016 Mage. In the stage Hines 26. Her heart beat fast. She clicked. The voice in the video was smooth, confident, and warm. You probably look younger than your age. You've always felt different. You sense betrayal before it happens. The universe protects you. Mara sat up slowly. It felt like the video was reading her diary. Then the voice said, "If you were born on the 20th, you carry the heart of a healer. In your past life, you may have been a witch, someone deeply connected to the mysteries of the universe." Mara's mouth went dry. Her birthday was on the 20th. She paused the video, rewound it, played that part again. Born on the 20th. It felt like the universe had just whispered her name. From that night, Mara could not stop thinking about it. Was I really some kind of witch before? Is that why I feel things before they happen? Is that why people always come to me with their problems? Every new video she watched said something similar with the same or similar dates. The 2nd, the 10th, the 14th, the 15th, the 17th, the 18th, the 20th, the 28th. It was everywhere. But the more she watched, the more one question started to bother her. How do they know? One evening, Mara visited her grandmother. Her grandmother was old, gentle, and had that kind of wisdom that made you relax just by sitting beside her. Mara showed her the videos. After listening quietly, her grandmother smiled in that small, knowing way and said, "If you want to know whether something is true or not, you must leave the screen, child. Go somewhere the phones are quiet." End quote. Her grandmother told her about an old temple far away in the mountains. She said there was a teacher there, a man people simply called Tenzin. He doesn't have a YouTube channel. Her grandmother laughed. But he has lived a long time, and he has seen how people use fear and flattery. If anyone can answer this which birth date matter, it is him. Something inside Mara decided. She booked a long journey, buses, trains, and one rough road that shook her bones. Finally, she climbed a stone path at dawn, where mist curled around her feet and bells rang softly in the distance. At the top of the hill, there it was, a quiet temple, with faded red walls and prayer flags moving gently in the wind. She took a deep breath, her heart heavy with questions. Inside the temple, the air smelled of incense and old wooden floors. Mara found a man sitting cross-legged in front of 8 unlit candles. He was not what she expected. No long white beard, no glowing eyes, just a calm, older man in simple robes, with laugh lines at the corners of his eyes. "Are you Tenzin?" she asked. He smiled. She hesitated, then said, "I came a long way. I have a question. It's about birth dates, and witches, and past lives." Tenzin nodded slowly, as if this was not the first time someone had asked him such a thing. "Sit," he said. "We will talk." Mara sat opposite him. On the floor between them was a small old scroll. On it, she could see numbers: 2, 10, 14, 15, 17, 18, 20, 28. Her breath caught. That's them," she whispered. "Those are the dates from the videos." End quote. Tenzin looked at her carefully. "So," he said, "you have heard that people born on these days were witches in their past lives?" Mara nodded. "And are you afraid?" he asked. She thought for a moment. "I'm not sure if I'm afraid," she said slowly. "It makes me feel special, and scared, and confused." Tenzin smiled again. "That is how hooks work," he said. "They catch the mouth with sweetness, not with iron. You taste sugar first. You feel special. Only later do you realize something else was pulled out of you." "What was pulled out?" Mara asked. "Your ability to question," Tenzin said. "But you are here now. That means something in you refused to be fully caught." He touched the old scroll. "Let me tell you a story," he said, "and I will use your 8 magical dates. You decide what is real." He lit the first candle. The first candle burned softly. "This," Tenzin said, "is for those born on the 2nd. Mara leaned forward. "In the old stories," he continued, "they were not called witches. They were called listeners. People who could walk into a room and feel the storm before anyone spoke. People who could hear the pain behind the silence." He looked at Mara. "Do you know people like that?" Mara nodded. "Yes, I think I'm like that sometimes." Tenzin continued. "Now tell me, do you think only people born on the 2nd feel this way? Or do you think there are many? across many dates, who were raised around anger or chaos or tension, and they learned to listen very carefully so they could stay safe? Mara thought about it. She remembered her own childhood, the raised voices, the quiet danger in the house, how she had learned to read the room to protect herself. I think many people, she admitted. Tenzin nodded. So when a video says, if you were born on the 2nd, you feel what others feel, it is not reading your soul, he said softly. It is reading something very common in human life. Sensitivity, survival, empathy, and man. He leaned in slightly. But if I wrap that common truth inside a special date and a mystical word like witch, he smiled. Suddenly, you feel chosen. Mara stayed quiet. The candle for the 2nd burned bright. Tenzin lit the 2nd candle. This one is for those born on the 10th, he said. In the stories, they were not witches either. They were called voices, people whose words pushed others to move, leaders, question askers, trend breakers. He looked at Mara again. Have you ever noticed that the people who speak strongly are often the ones who had to grow strong? Maybe life pushed them. Maybe nobody listened to them as children, so they learned to speak louder. Maybe they saw failure, and they decided, I will not be quiet in this world. Mara remembered a friend like that. Born on the 10th, always the one people turned to, always the one who fought for herself. So Tenzin went on. When a video says, if you are born on the 10th, you are a leader, your words become reality. Do you see the trick? Mara frowned. What trick? It takes qualities that can come from anyone's life story, he said, and attaches them to a calendar number. Then it suggests that the power came from the date, not from the journey. And attentions is not having 74s. He paused. It's like seeing a woman who has worked hard for 20 years, he said, and saying, you are successful because your birthday is the 10th, instead of because you refused to give up. Mara exhaled slowly. That feels wrong, she murmured. Tenzin nodded. It feels wrong, he agreed, because it steals honor from the path you walked and gives it to the clock. The 3rd candle. This candle is for those born on the 14th, Tenzin said. In some old tales, they were called eyes. People who see patterns before others notice. People who can connect small clues and understand what is happening behind the curtain. He moved his hand slowly above the flame. The videos say they have ancient energy, a youthful glow, that they are somehow protected. But think of it simply. He glanced at Mara. Have you ever noticed that people who had to be careful growing up often notice everything? When a parent's face changes? When money goes missing? When moods shift? Yes, Mara said quietly. So as adults, they are sharp, Tenzin said. They see, they feel, they sense, and someone on the internet says, oh, that means you were a witch. He shook his head slightly. In many traditions, that is not witchcraft, he said. It is just the human mind doing what it learned to do, protect itself. He leaned back a bit. But if I tell you that your sharpness is because of your date, not your story, then you believe you cannot change it. You may even feel trapped by it. Mara looked troubled. I never thought of that, she whispered. Tenzin lit the 4th candle. This is for those born on the 15th, he said. In the village legends, they were not witches either. They were called bridges, people who could talk to anyone, calm fights, persuade, make peace where there was war. He smiled. The videos say people born on this day are persuasive, protected by unseen forces, and that anyone who harms them will face consequences. Mara nodded. I've heard that exact thing. Tell me, Tenzin said, if you believe that the universe will punish anyone who hurts you, what happens? Mara thought carefully. I might stop taking responsibility for my choices, she said slowly. I might wait for something bad to happen to them, instead of healing myself, instead of leaving or setting boundaries. Exactly, Tenzin replied. It feels powerful, because it sounds like you are protected, but it can also keep you stuck. You stare at their life, waiting for them to fall. He looked into the distance, as if remembering many faces. In truth, he said, people hurt others and sometimes seem fine for a long time. If your peace depends on their punishment, you will suffer twice, once from what they did, and again from waiting for the universe to strike. The fourth candle flickered. So what are they really? Mara asked. These people born on the 15th? They are people, Tenzin said gently. People with charisma, with empathy, with voices that can move others. But also people who must learn responsibility, just like everyone else. If you are still here, it means you are not just watching for quick entertainment. You're thinking. You're feeling this. So do two things for me. Like this video right now so more people can see it. If any of the first 4 dates described you, even if your birth date is different, comment. I see myself in this. Now, let's go back to Mara and Tenzin. The smoke from the 4 candles curled in the air. Mara looked at the scroll again. It still confuses me, she admitted. The videos say these dates are special. You're telling me they're not? I am telling you something more interesting, Tenzin said. Which is? She asked. I am telling you that many people can see themselves in these words, he said, even if they were born on the 3rd, or the 9th, or the 25th. He studied her face. When you want to feel seen, he said quietly, you will accept almost any mirror that says, you are special, even if the mirror is dirty. Mara swallowed. So you're saying it's all fake? She asked. Tenzin chuckled softly. Not fake, he said. Just incomplete, a half-truth wrapped in drama. He touched the scroll again. We still have 4 more candles, he said. The 17th, 18th, 20th, and 28th. Mara's heart jumped at the mention of the 20th, her own date. After that, Tenzin continued, I will show you something that will either make you angry or will set you free. Said. He looked at her carefully. Do you want to continue? Mara nodded immediately. Yes, she said. I need to know. The 5th candle, this is for those born on the 17th, Tenzin said. In the old stories, they were called pillars, people others lean on, steady, calm from the outside, even when storms rage inside. His better is better by. The videos say, he continued, that they can transform their lives, that their focus creates reality, that their energy is strong. Is that bad? Mara asked. Not at all, he said. The danger comes when we suggest that all bad things are the result of their thoughts. He looked at her. If someone born on the 17th gets sick or loses a job or is betrayed and they believe, my thoughts did this, what happens? They blame themselves. Mara answered. Yes, Tenzin said softly. They carry too much. They think they control everything. That is a heavy burden for a human heart. He let the candle burn in silence for a moment. Discipline is real, he said. Focus matters. Choices matter. But you are not a god. You share a world with many wills, many forces, many random events. He smiled, sadly. If you believe your mind alone controls everything, he said, you will live in fear of your own thoughts. Tenzin lit the sixth candle. This, he said, is for those born on the 18th. In legends, they were called flames. Intense, emotional, people who feel joy like sunlight and sadness like a storm. The videos say they are connected to a different frequency, that they're guided by something higher, that their emotions are proof of their witch nature. He shook his head gently. Emotion does not prove witchcraft, he said. It proves life. He glanced at Mara. Tell me, he asked, how many people on this earth feel deeply? How many cry in secret? How many laugh loudly? How many break and get back up? Millions, Mara said softly. Exactly, Tenzin replied. So when a video describes intense emotion and then says, this means you were a witch, what is it really describing? Being human, Mara whispered. Now Tenzin's hand moved to the seventh candle. This one, he said, is for those born on the 20th. Mara straightened unconsciously. This date is important to you? Tenzin asked gently. It's my birthday, she admitted. He nodded slowly. In our stories, he said, those born on this day were called hearts. They were the ones who made others feel safe. The ones people cried to. The ones who carried everyone's secrets and pain. Mara felt tears prick her eyes. That sounded very familiar. The videos say people born on the 20th heal others with their presence. Tenzin went on. They say they were witches in another life, that their power comes from some invisible contract with the universe. He looked at her kindly. But tell me the truth, Mara. Did your role as the healer begin before you were born? Or did it begin when someone needed you to be strong very early in life? Mara thought about her childhood again. The sick parent, the younger sibling who cried, the adults who leaned on her when she was only a child. She had become the strong one, not because of magic, but because life had given her no choice. She wiped her eyes. So what am I then? She asked. If not a witch, you are a heart that learned to beat for too many people, Tenzin said softly. And now you must learn to beat for yourself as well. The seventh candle burned low. Tenzin lit the eighth candle. This is for those born on the 28th, he said. In the old tales, they were called pathfinders. People who walk ahead, clear the road, and then turn back to help others. The videos call them leaders. Bold, strategic, destined for success. He smiled. I do not disagree that many born on this day can be strong leaders, he said. But again, the problem is not the compliment. The problem is the chain tied to the compliment. What chain? Mara asked. The idea that your destiny is already sealed, he said. That because of this date, you are powerful. And if you fail, it must mean you missed your fate. People become obsessed with the number instead of their daily choices. He waved his hand over all 8 candles. Look at them, he said. 8 flames, 8 dates, 8 stories, all beautiful, all poetic, all human. He lowered his voice. Now comes the part no video ever tells you, he said. The part about the 9th date. Mara frowned. 9th date? She asked. But there are only 8 on the scroll. Tenzin slowly rolled up the scroll and set it aside. The 9th date, he said, is the only one that truly decides your future. It is the only one that shapes who you become, no matter when you were born. Mara leaned forward. What is it? She whispered. Tell me. Tenzin smiled, but this time there was something serious in his eyes. I will tell you, he said, but not tonight. Mara blinked in confusion. Why not? She asked. Because if I reveal it too early, Tenzin said, you will hear it with the same ears that believed every video on your phone. You must first sit with what you have heard so far. He looked directly at you, the listener. And you, his voice seemed to say, must do the same right now. You've heard the story of Mara and Tenzin, and the truth behind the 2nd, 10th, 14th, 15th, 17th, 18th, 20th, and 28th. You've seen how easy it is for anyone to feel seen by these dates, not because of magic, but because of shared human experience. But we are not done. Now, Tenzin will reveal what the 9th date really is, why so many people have premonitions that come true, and how to know if what you're feeling is real, intuition, or just a clever trick of the mind. If you want to know about the 9th date, make sure you subscribe right now. Comment, "I'm ready for the 9th date," and share this video with someone who has been watching those witch birth date videos. Because the next part is where everything comes together. All right, we followed Mara as she climbed a mountain searching for the truth behind those videos that say, if you were born on these dates, you were a witch in your past life. She met Tenzin, the quiet teacher. She saw the scroll with the 8 dates, 2, 10, 14, 15, 17, 18, 20, 28. He lit 8 candles and showed her something important, that the traits those videos describe, intuition, leadership, deep emotions, healing energy, resilience, do not belong to dates. They belong to people. Now, in this part, Tenzin will reveal the mysterious 9th date, the truth about premonitions and why they sometimes come true, and how to stop being controlled by fear and flattery, while still honoring the real, deep parts of you that feel spiritual. Now let's go back to the temple. After their long talk, Tenzin sent Mara to a small guest room in the temple. The night was very quiet. No car horns, no phone buzzing, just crickets and the soft sound of wind. Mara lay on a simple mat, staring at the ceiling. Her heart felt strange. On one hand, she felt lighter. It was a relief to hear that she was not cursed or trapped by some birth date magic. On the other hand, she felt exposed. If it wasn't her date that made her special or protected, then what did she have? She remembered all those nights when she had comforted friends, listened to strangers, felt danger before it arrived. She remembered the words, "You were a witch in your past life." It had given her a sense of meaning. Now, she wasn't sure anymore. She turned on her side and whispered into the dark, "If I'm not a witch, then who am I?" An effort. Sleep finally took her, heavy and deep. The next morning, the air was cool. Mara walked back into the temple hall. The 8 candles from the day before had melted into small pools of wax. Tenzin was already there, sweeping the floor. "You did not tell me the 9th date," Mara said, without greeting. Tenzin smiled. "Good morning to you too," he said. She blushed slightly. "Good morning," she added. "But please, I need to know." He leaned his broom against the wall and sat down again. "This 9th date is special," he said. "Not because it's mystical, but because it is practical. It is the only one that truly changes your life." He picked up a stick and began to draw a small circle in the dust. Inside the circle, he wrote one word, "Today." Mara frowned. "That's it?" she asked. "Today?" Tenzin nodded. "The 9th date," he said, "is always today. Whatever day you are watching this, whatever day you are breathing, whatever day you are listening." He looked up at her. "Your past life, if it exists," he said, "cannot move your hand right now. Your birth date cannot move your feet. Only today can. Only this moment can. That is where your real power is." Mara stared at the word. Something in her chest relaxed, then tightened again. "So all those videos," she began, "are stories?" Tenzin said gently. Some sincere, some made for views, some a mix of both. He shrugged lightly. They can entertain you, he said. They can even inspire you sometimes. But none of them should be allowed to take away the power of this one date. Today, Mara sat down across from him. There is still something I don't understand, she said. Those videos talk about premonitions, about feeling something before it happens, and that part feels real. She swallowed. There were times I knew someone was going to leave me, she confessed. Times I felt that something bad would happen, and then it did. Was that just my brain playing tricks, or is there something more? Tenzin nodded slowly. A good question, he said. He drew another circle beside the first one, then another, creating a chain of circles. Let me tell you 3 things about premonitions, he said. Simple things, no big language. He pointed to the first circle. First, he said, your mind is a pattern machine. His borders, end quote. When you have seen many storms, he continued, you can smell rain before the first drop. He looked at her. You told me yesterday, he said, that you grew up around conflict, illness, and tension. Your body remembers how danger feels. So when something similar begins, you sense it early. Sometimes you call it a premonition, he said. Sometimes it is simply your experience recognizing the pattern before your conscious mind catches up. He smiled. This is not fake, he said. It is a real kind of wisdom, but it is not tied to your birth date. It is tied to your story. He pointed to the second circle. Second, he said, is your memory. You have many, many random thoughts, dreams, and fears in a year, he said. Most of them never come true. You forget them. But when one dream or feeling matches something that later happens, he snapped his fingers. You remember that one very strongly. That single hit, he continued, makes you forget the hundreds of misses. Mara thought of all the times she had felt something bad will happen, and nothing happened. She had forgotten those quickly. But the few times when something did happen, she whispered, you held on to them tightly, Tenzin said. And if someone online tells you, see, that means you were a witch in your past life, it fits the story you already feel. He pointed to the third circle. Third, he said, emotion. When you are anxious, your mind looks for danger, he explained. When you are hopeful, your mind looks for meaning. If you are anxious and something bad happens, he said, your mind says, I knew it. It's not one. If you are hopeful and something good happens, your mind also says, I knew it. He smiled gently. In both cases, the mind loves to feel right. Wenuda, that. Wenuda, 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 Wenuda. So are all premonitions fake? Mara asked. No, Tenzin replied. Sometimes you really are picking up subtle signals. Sometimes you are seeing patterns that others ignore. Sometimes your body knows something is wrong before your mind accepts it. He paused. The danger is not in trusting your feelings, he said. The danger is in giving your birth date the credit and giving your fear the steering wheel. Mara sat quietly, taking it all in. Tenzin watched her, then said, would you like a simple test you can use on any reading, any video, any witch birth date claim? She nodded vigorously. Yes, please. He drew 4 small lines in the dust. Ask yourself 4 questions, he said. Question 1. Could this description apply to many people? If the answer is yes, he said, then it is not as special as it sounds. It may still be meaningful to you, but it is not owned by your date. Question 2. Is this reading mostly praise or mostly fear? If it is only telling you how powerful, special, protected, and chosen you are, he said, be careful. That is how some people collect your attention. If it only tells you how cursed, blocked, attacked, or doomed you are, be careful. That is how some people collect your fear. Real wisdom can challenge you, he said, but it also gives you tools, not just labels. Question 3. Does this message remove my responsibility or increase it? If a reading makes you feel like everything is fixed and nothing is your choice, he said, that is a problem. Hesitate. If it makes you see your choices more clearly, even if it is uncomfortable, that can be helpful. Question 4. After watching this, do I feel clearer or more addicted? If you feel like you need to keep watching more and more videos to feel okay, he said, the content is probably designed to hook you, not to free you. Mara listened carefully. These are your tools now, Tenzin said. Use them. Protect your mind. Mara looked at the melted candles again. So who am I? She asked softly. If not a witch from some past life, who am I if my birth date doesn't decide everything? Tenzin smiled. You, he said, are a person who feels deeply, who listens, who heals, who leads, who survives. You are all these things not because of numbers, but because of days you have already lived. He pointed at the word today he had written earlier. And you are someone who still has this, he said. Today, the only date you can actually touch. He leaned back. Your power is not in a label, he said. Your power is in your awareness. If you are watching this right now, I want you to hear this clearly. Maybe you were born on the 2nd, 10th, 14th, 15th, 17th, 18th, 20th, or 28th. Maybe you watched those videos and felt something strong. Maybe you called yourself a witch. Maybe you even felt proud or scared because of it. I'm not here to laugh at you. I'm here to remind you, your intuition is real. Your deep feelings are real. Your leadership, your compassion, your resilience, real. Your strange dreams that sometimes line up with real life, those experiences are real too. But attaching them to a birth date and calling it proof of a past life witch, that part is a story, a powerful story, a sweet story. A story that can be used to entertain, inspire, or manipulate, depending on who is telling it and why. What Tenzin is teaching Mara and what I am sharing with you is this. You do not need that story to be powerful. If this video opened your eyes in some way, here's what I want you to do. In the comments, write your birthday, just the number, and one real strength you know you have that has nothing to do with your date. For example, 20. I listen deeply. 2. I protect my friends. 2. To my. 2. 28. I don't give up easily. Subscribe to this channel if you want more content like this. Stories that feel mystical, but still respect your mind. Share this video with someone who has been watching those "you were a witch in your past life" videos. Not to mock them, but to set them free a little. So, if you were born on one of those dates, were you a witch in your past life? The truth is, you don't need to know who you were to decide who you will become. Your birth date did not choose your power, your pain, your choices, your healing, your today. Those are the real forces shaping you. You are not owned by a number, and no video, not even this one, should have more authority over your life than your own awakened, questioning, living mind. Thank you for walking this path with me. Remember, you don't need magic to be powerful. You just need to be fully awake, right here, on the only date that truly matters. Today,